Hello, hello. Can you guys hear me? Okay. About to switch over my screen. We are gonna do what we have been meaning to do for the past 30 some hours we've invested into this figure. Painting time. Let me switch over my screen. It might be super zoomed in. Not too bad actually. Got a weird thingy here. Yeah, this is pretty good. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit more than usual this time, so hopefully the camera will really capture what I'm doing. Before when I zoomed out, it was kind of catching the edge of my airbrush booth here, so on that side it was catching that. So let me angle around here. Hope you guys all had a good weekend. And we were gonna pretty much pop into this. Judgment Day. Unaware for those just tuning in. For those who haven't been catching my streams, I've been working on, painting. It's a little Maid kit under current projects. So we have this Maid that we have been preparing for weeks now in each of my streams, and it's finally time to get her painted. So at this point she's all nice and primed. You should be able, we'll have nice and smooth paint application. Everything should go well, should go pretty well. We'll see how quick it goes. I get kind of into it, and then sometimes I layer things, and so I have these paints that I have pre-mixed. Couple streams, worth. We prepared spoons and mixtures, and we did all sorts of crazy stuff. And we came up with these color schemes, or these spoons, I guess. Why is this not focusing already? Come on. There we go. Yeah, so we have a variety of colors here. This is the final color palette. So all of these colors here are what I have mixed into vials, which I will be using for this kit. So generally, after we come up with the spoon mixture, I put everything, all my paint, into a vial, and that way I don't have to mix it on the fly when I'm working on my kits. So sometimes if you're mixing paint, if you have to mix separate batches, you end up with a slightly different mixture each time, and so pre-mixing everything ahead of time will make sure that your color is consistent. So I've done that for a lot of these pieces. What I did, or for these colors, I guess. What I did not do is prepare clear colors. So any shading or top coats we're gonna put on it, those I did not pre-mix because a lot of it's just like straight from the bottle color. So at some point I'm gonna be, pulling colors off my shelves, maybe adjusting things slightly, we'll see. But this is what I do when I'm painting my figures. So let's see, looks absolutely gorgeous. Excited to see her spring to life. Me too, ibuprofen. I am ready. So with that, I think what will happen is I'm probably going to turn down my mic. It's pretty loud already. I'm going to turn it down a little bit, possibly even more. Sorry, so if you guys can't hear me, I'm just airbrushing. I also have a noise gate on, so that way hopefully now it's too soft? Okay. How is this? It's gonna be way too loud when the airbrush is on, that's a problem, so... Okay, well... Yeah, okay, we'll try it. So yeah, let me know if it gets too loud, and I will turn it down. I probably will be pretty focused on this, to be honest, so if you guys are asking questions and stuff, I might not get to it immediately. But I'll keep an eye on the monitor, and we can look over and I'll answer any questions as it's happening. So yeah, first time doing this live, so let me figure out what I want to do first. Also, let's see, these pieces have been sitting for a little while, so I'm just gonna give them a quick kind of blow with my airbrush. This doesn't have any paint in it, but this will dislodge any extra fuzzies and stuff that got on them. Because when they sit, stuff from your house, oh my god. Hello, BB. Stuff from dust will settle on your kit. So unless you clean all that off, like it's just gonna sit there, and then you'll spray paint on it and you'll get fuzzy stuff in your paint job. So I do this whenever I am pretty much ready to paint. I just quickly blow all pieces of air, kind of like blowing dust out of your keyboard, or dusting off your screen. We just want to make sure we're starting with a totally clean canvas. So we'll wrap that up. Luckily, not too many pieces on this figure, so we only got a couple left. The way I'm gonna paint this first, and what I usually do first, I was debating between skin tone or hair, because a lot of times my skin tone guides the hair. So like if I have a set skin tone, or hair, sorry, if I have a set hair and I color that, then I can kind of match the skin tone to be as light or as dark as I want. Otherwise, sometimes you go in and you spray your hair after your skin tone, and then the skin tone just does not match well. So I think, yeah, we'll start with hair. This will be a process. The hair, we've mixed 4 colors in it. Not sure how many of those I'm gonna use, but we'll see. It's wrapping up here, and this just got stuck. Okay. 2 more pieces. Okay. Alright, so every piece is now basically clean and free of dust. So I'm gonna move into starting painting. Again, we have 2 hair pieces here we're gonna paint. We have this big one here. So this is her big one. And then we have her regular hair. Hi, Mr. Frike. So yeah, this is her bangs. That will match this, but we're gonna go for it. So let me get my safety equipment on. Not gonna be talking a lot this time, guys. I'm just gonna be kind of focusing on this. Everything that I've talked about has been covered in my other videos. So if you weren't sure about how I mix colors or anything, you can check those for reference. Sorry, yes, I just saw your image. Is this better over here, or your text? How does that look? Is that a little better? Yeah, there's not really going to be much action happening in that corner anyway, so I think that is a better idea. Okay. Alright guys, I'm gonna basically just kind of do what I do and paint. Again, let me know if it gets too loud. Hello, can you hear me? I'm talking right now. I'm talking right now. You guys can hear me and not too much. Okay, when I need you, I'll speak up. Can you hear me now? Okay. Can you hear me with my mask? Okay, I don't know if you guys can hear me with my mask on. I'm saying a bunch of stuff on that, but okay. If I need to talk, then I will take my mask down a little bit. You guys can hear me now or no? Oh no, okay. But you, okay. Okay, I'm just gonna do it what I do then. I'll turn off the vent if I need to talk. am just going to cut some super fine sandpaper. Gotta cut some Tamiya 2000 grit. I use this when I'm working in the middle of stuff, if I can grab it, because sometimes there's like a stubborn piece of dust that won't come off, and so I gotta scratch that. Alright, so I'm just gonna keep this sandpaper off to the side and use it as I need it. That's pretty much all I have to say about that. Just ran out of my first like batch, I guess. I put basically like a vial and a half, like a dropper and a half in, I guess. And then that just helps prevent me from overflowing it. But you may be wondering why I'm starting with this kind of like light yellow color. And that's because I generally slowly work my way up when oranges aren't involved, because orange will layer a little bit better and you'll get a richer color by putting yellow down as a base. Last time I think we covered putting yellow down and then red on top of it, and you get a really kind of bright orange. That's why we're doing it this way. And so we're starting with this kind of soft, buttery yellow, and we're gonna work our way up to that rich orange color there. And I'm gonna do like each of this for each piece. So generally work back and forth. So as soon as I finish up with this one, I'm gonna coat that big hair orange or this yellow, and then back and forth, back and forth. So. comes to like bigger pieces, out of kind of bad habit, I just fold them. But you can absolutely use an alligator clip. I just find that it kind of like rotates really easy, and so I have a better grip when I'm holding it at a certain angle. But at some point you need to like turn it over and not have the paint touch, and so that's when you use the clip. So if you see me guys, like if you guys see me holding pieces, that's why. This is the biggest piece, so that's probably the only one that I'm gonna do this with, but it's just something that I do. Okay, I'm reading this. Yeah, so what I basically said is I didn't have enough support, so I turned around and stuck my finger in the back of her head. So, like, right now this clip is kind of finagly, so I just had a firmer grip this way. You can see we're basically, like, I guess kind of a third, maybe, I don't know. I was gonna say half, but we're not halfway there. But yeah, we're just still laying down this first base coat. Again, it's gonna be kind of a process of working our way up. That third vial I mixed, I think, is the one that was closest to her regular main skin tone, or hair tone. So we'll see. It's gonna get kind of wacky after I lay base coats down, because then I'm just like, oh, I like it this way, or this way, or this way. And so a lot of what I end up doing is improv, so we'll see.
She's actively resisting.
I think maybe one more or two more droppers worth, and we will be good. Sorry, I am reading it. Oh no, the airbrush sound totally off too. It's too good. The noise suppression is too good. I do like having an airbrush sound. Just not hear anything for the airbrush when the vent is on. Yeah, that's my only problem with this one is it's pretty loud. Yeah, sorry guys. But yeah, so we only have maybe one or two more droppers worth. Let me look at these pieces real quick. Hair coverage went on pretty clean, but this piece here, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but there's already some, no, it's too bright. There's some level of shading happening here where some areas I kind of went in a little harder, and so they're kind of orangier, but I don't really mind. Like, really with this kit and for, you know, original characters and whatever I feel like doing, it's just like, if it ends up that way, it's fine. We're going to cover this color anyway, so it doesn't have to be totally even coverage. Alright, one more round of this, and then I think we're going to move on to the next color, which is like a dark, slightly darker orange. Not sure if the camera will pick that tonal difference up, but we'll see. Alright. Dancing Kermie. Yeah, been a while since we've seen poor Kermie. Going to clean out this airbrush and then we will move on to the next color. Which is a kind of a halfway point to the orange that I'm hoping to get. Her hair is going to end up being pretty dark orange if we're being honest here. When we compare the reference photo to what I just sprayed, I honestly sprayed basically like a goldeny, orangey blonde, which is completely off from what the hair color is, but it's all a process. If you look closely at this photo, if you eyedropper that photo, you'll see that the highlights are yellow. And so what we're going to gradually do is kind of work from the ends of her hair up and really focus that orange color on her end tips. And then areas that are meant to have highlights will hopefully, as long as I do it correctly, be lighter in color. Sometimes this takes the process of, going back and forth and fading over areas that you already sprayed, and so it's kind of hit and miss, honestly. That's why I spray so much. But yeah, I don't know that we consumed maybe, almost half of this bottle. So I mix a lot just because you never know when you're going to need it. Oops. There we go. You never know when you're going to need it. Sometimes you accidentally knock over your vial and then it spills out and you still want enough to salvage. I've been there, done that. Yeah, not fun time. Yep. So this is basically, I said base bright orange. So this is a darker orange than what we just sprayed. But I don't think this was the total hair color I wanted. Where is this? Okay. Yeah, so we just sprayed this. So zoom. Get this out of here. Come on. I'm holding my spoons in one hand and I think this is throwing it off. Okay, whatever. Honestly, whatever. So we sprayed that and then now we're going to spray this color. So more of a soft pumpkin orange. Here's the comparison. Oh my god, there we go. There's a comparison. So soft yellowy, golden. This is the orange we're spraying now. I'm just going to use the same eyedropper. If I were going from dark to light, I probably wouldn't use the same eyedropper, but it's really, mixing in that tiny bit of yellow is not going to change things. Alright.
Did I know you before? But in a different way. Gotta say two things so we can both breathe. You, me. Mama, let her thoughts sink in real deep. You, me. Blowing all around the Saguenay and I'm home. Voice sounds like autumn gray. Eyes look autumn gray. Lips taste autumn gray. Body feels autumn gray. Everything out of place. I don't need space. Feel some way inside. Feel some way inside. Feel some way. Look through this. I want you to color me in. I used to not want that, but now I want that. Just cover your ears, figure me out. You say that's a lot of work. I say yeah, no doubt. I gotta say two things so we can both breathe. You, me. Mama, let her thoughts sink in real deep. You, me. Blowing all around the Saguenay and I'm home. Voice sounds like autumn gray. Eyes look autumn gray. Lips taste autumn gray. Body feels autumn gray. Everything mouth so you can't hear me breathing heavy. Voice sounds like gone gray. I pull the phone off of my mouth so you can't hear me breathing heavy. Voice sounds like gone gray. Pull the phone off of my mouth so you can't hear me breathing heavy. Voice sounds like gone gray. I pull the phone off of my mouth so you can't hear me breathing heavy. Voice sounds like gone gray. Rolling all around the agony and the moan. Voice sounds like gone gray. Eyes look autumn gray. Lipstick autumn gray. Body feels autumn gray. Everything out of place. I don't need space, baby. It's so
You'll notice that I'm spraying kind of in the direction where I want most of the color to sit. So really what I'm wanting is a lighter hair on the top here, and I'm going to be working my way kind of up to get the bang like darker color. And so right now it's like really blown out, and to be honest, this camera is showing, well, this color is good, like on this screen, but it's not as saturated as what you're seeing in this photo. It's actually quite soft in real life. So that's just the problem when you're like recording and figuring things out, is colors on cameras and adjusting for things to make them look like what you're actually seeing. It's such a problem. It's something that I have to deal with all the time. So yeah, colors that you see may not be reflective of final colors in the photo shoot, because those are generally like corrected to make it look like what it looks like in real life. So yeah, you can still see the gradient is starting to come together. It'll be even more drastic once we get some of these darker colors. Again, like this hair and then that photo hair, not even remotely the same. So just wanted to give you guys a heads up. You'll also notice that the color radiation will move by a little bit quicker each time, or at least not take as much time as the initial base coat because we've already laid down color. So we're just slowly laying color. Each color will have, we won't need quite as much of it. Once we use clears, we'll be able to shade it, and that will take, less color. So just other things to note, I guess.
Drove across the Midwest. It was just a test. I still think you are the best. I don't wanna let you down. I just wanna pass this town. At any rate, we could all be late. On our own, anytime is great. In your blue jeans, moved on from your teens. I got a free seat and no routine. I'll try not to sleep, but I'm slipping quick. I'm trying not to dip, but this party's thick. I feel 50-50, but I gotta be full. If you're out there, then give me a pull. I wanna rent a car and drive across the Midwest. It was just a test. I still think you are the best. I don't wanna let you down. I just wanna pass this town. I wanna rent a car and drive across the Midwest. It was just a test. I still think you are the best. I don't wanna let you down. I just wanna pass this town. Rent a car and drive across the Midwest. Think you are the best. I don't wanna let you down. I just wanna pass this town.
I literally just cranked them up. I don't even care if I get DMCA'd. I'm sorry. This is like pretty good. Alright. So I'm gonna let you guys in on a little secret. This is a technique that I learned from a Japanese YouTuber before he went all private. You can use a Mr. Clean sponge or a Mr. like eraser. Basically it's like a Mr. Clean, sponge meant for your walls and cleaning. melamine sponge, and it is like basically acts as a very, very high grit sandpaper. And so if you have any like tiny little fuzzies left over, if you sprayed at the wrong angle or something, this will just clear them out, and then you're going to get a smooth painting surface again. It can also be used to kind of very slowly brush off paint so you're left with highlights. So I would not really advise doing this until you're like sure of your skill set, because it's super easy to go too far. But I started using this technique on my kits, and I've really been enjoying using it. So you can kind of see, well, no, you really can't, but there begins, like a gradient begins to form as you're slowly wiping away paint. And so basically I just noticed that I layered too much paint on this area that I wanted highlighted a little more. So I'm just kind of rubbing that off, and then more of that orange paint will fit inside of these cracks, and that's gonna give your hair a little bit more definition. Because really all you're gonna be left with is a lighter highlight here. Again, we're still like in base coat 2 basically, so I don't need to do too much, but I was noticing her hair is kind of like rough here, so I just wanted to smooth it down a little before I continue painting it. Yeah, definitely, but we're trying to aim here for putting all of this like in, and believe me, I use plenty of clear coats. You guys probably won't see that because we'll be putting it in between streams, so you don't have to wait after I clear coat things, but I have often clear coated things like 3 or even 4 times before polishing and making it super like smooth. So this is just something we're doing right now to make sure that painting is proceeding okay. Alright, looking good. I'm gonna keep going with this. You can also kind of compare the hair. As you can see, we still got a ways to go. This side here is still not quite as orange. Man, I need to turn down this light a little, I think. Hopefully, yeah. Well, that's a lot better, I think. Yeah, so you can see the orange here is not really matching up yet, and we want it to. So we're gonna go a little bit more. And then it's finally time for the main hair color, I guess. This was all the fun shading stuff.
Pure emotion.
gonna turn this off for a second. What was I doing? Oh yeah, I need to grab another alligator clip. So I have this blue on my alligator clip, and I'm noticing as I'm putting it on here, it's kind of rubbing off onto this area here. So you're not going to see it, it's on the inside, but I get a little paranoid when it comes to the color mixing here, and I don't want it to like scratch and then end up with the wrong color. So I'm gonna see if I have a cleaner one of these. Do my hands ever cramp back from a long airbrushing session? What do I do to relieve it? Yeah, I love pogo too. I don't typically get hand cramps when airbrushing. Most of the time when I get it, it's from like sanding. And so a lot of the reason why I don't is I think I just switch it off a lot. Like I'm, you know, moving my airbrush, I'm not holding it, I'm stopping, I'm starting. And also the Iwata airbrush is really comfy. It just kind of fits in my hand. So I never really had a problem with the Iwata. Some of the heavier ones, like my master airbrush, that one starts to be a pain after a little while. And then I simply just stop, come back to it, and don't really have an issue after that. So we're almost done with this hair. It's kind of blown out because of the high light in here, and also the contrast is kind of bumped up. But there's still like some highlighting I have to do up here. You can see it's a lighter color here. That's intentional. That's not from the light. There's also a little bit of highlighting that's just starting to happen here. See if I can zoom in. No, it's all blown out. In the shadow maybe? Yeah, you can kind of see it. So yeah, it's a lot lighter up here. And then down in here, it's a little yellow. Same on this side, you can see the yellow. And that's just like, we're doing kind of a mix of pre and post shading all in one here. So again, I just kind of go for it until I like it. Alright, let's wrap up this color and then we're gonna go into the real color, the real orange, and that's when it'll start to, like, I'll really have to get picky about what I'm liking and not liking. Because from there, we have a different darker color, and then we need to move into clears to start shading the piece. So the shading is when you really start to see the definition. Okay. So I just had to compare the bangs against the hair before moving on to make sure that my highlights are in the right place. Otherwise, you might end up with it being misaligned. Let's see. Sorry, I just saw your question, Panda. How did you learn your color mixing / layering? Just from practice, or do you have a chart? I'm pretty much self-taught, so the only formal art classes I've taken, were in high school, college, like drawing course, but I've never taken any courses on color theory or anything like that. So all of my knowledge is just from like osmosis of learning on my own and just practicing, honestly. Like, it takes a long time to learn how to mix colors, to know that you can mix different colors together to get totally different things. The airbrush is unique that you're able to get completely different colors and basically mix colors on your kit as you're airbrushing. I'm honestly not quite as confident as as mixing like directly on the canvas. You know what I mean? So you can like mix your paint in a cup and put it on your canvas, or for an airbrush, you can mix it directly on your canvas. And so a lot of what I do is just taking colors in a very similar range and then layering those to get different effects and a kind of a softer color gradient. So, I certainly could put on like a clear purple onto this kit, onto that orange hair to make it more brown. But generally I don't go that far. It's something that takes a lot of practice and confidence to be able to do. Although I have seen people do it successfully, and some of them are like the best artists that I've seen. But a lot of us, we just stick to pre-mixed stuff, or directly from the bottle, or we mix it on our own and then spray that on. So that's kind of my way. The clears you'll see once you put them on. We still have plenty of time tonight. Once those go on, hopefully the camera will pick it up, but it'll be fun to see the color shifting. I'm gonna pour a little bit more thinner. I'm running out here. And then we're gonna move on to the real base color, which is that rich orange. So let me show up the painting reference real quick, the big one. Yeah, so we haven't even reached her skin or her hair color yet. You can see that kind of ring around her hair and the front bangs. That's more the color scheme that we've been getting at slowly. So we're just slowly layering up to get to that point where her hair is this kind of rich orange color. And the next one, I did check it, and it should be a pretty much exact match. So after that, I'm not even sure if I'll need that rust hair color that I pre-mixed. I'll probably add it on the fingertips and stuff, but after this shade, it's just going to be a lot more subtle stuff. And I am going to switch over to my other airbrush at some point tonight. This is my 0.2. I've covered it a number of times. So I use this for detail work. And I'm going to be going in and kind of getting in between those hair crevices and shading that area. So that should be fun. This airbrush is kind of wild, so takes a lot of control. We'll see. Alright, so I got that. And I do not feel like listening to this song. Also, thank you, Curry, for sending me that link, but also I like hearing my music. And if people aren't here, then that's just too bad. They miss out on this quality content. Okay, enough ranting. So let's see. So, one more final comparison. We have, where's my other spoon? So we have sprayed these two colors. Oh, wrong one. These two colors. These two, and now we're gonna go into this one. So kind of a dramatic shift here. This is the main base color, so this should be fun to layer on. You're gonna see a pretty immediate difference, I think. for the delay, guys. I'm pulling up my reference image right now. So starting from like now, I'm really gonna start looking at it. Make sure that the kit is heading in a direction that I want. So kind of why we had a delay there. Color is great though. It looks like in person, it looks pretty much exactly the same as that image. So that's great. All right, keep going.
You take a sound.
End of the night, start of the morning, with my best friends all around. End of the gin, start
Alright, so thanks for those of you still sticking with me here. Basically, I've laid down this orange color, and now we are going to kind of continue the second stage process, which is like layering the lighter colors on top again to make a more of a gradient, layering some darker colors in between these cracks here to give it more emphasis on her hair strands. There's kind of a lot we can do here. So the most basic of basics is you'd spray a piece one color and that's pretty much it. And then you can move on to the next one. The other thing you can do with an airbrush is like shading, and so you can layer color, like as we've been doing, you can layer colors slowly. You can start putting lighter colors on top of darker colors to blend in gradients and change the color slightly. So I'm going to be doing kind of a variety of things on here as I'm noticing things I like or don't like about the kit. So just if you see me switching between things and cleaning out my airbrush a lot, introducing clears, that'll happen probably. I've got this dark rust color that I'm not sure if I want to add on the tips yet, because I kind of want to get this lighter color back in. A lot of the base darker orange that we sprayed in canceled out that lighter color, so I'm definitely gonna be kind of adding colors back in, and we'll see. We'll play it by ear. Reminds me of a girl from a space movie. Oh, yeah, what's her name? Lilo. Yeah, right? I don't know what is going on with the camera. Like, this color is not this bright, you guys. I swear. It's much, much duller in real life. It looks exactly like that photo. Here it is up close. It's still, like, so bright. It's just not this bright in real life. So, sadly, that happens a lot of the time, is your colors end up, like, so vibrant in your photo, or in your, like, camera and your photos. And then you're looking at it in real life, and you're like, that's not what it looks like. So, tough times. Okay. So, I am going to clean out my airbrush really good this time, because we've been spraying a lot in here, and I did start to notice it getting kind of junked up. I was concerned that it would start splattering, but thankfully that did not happen. You can see there's already a lot happening on this sheet, and that's just because I generally like set my airbrush down and then move up and move back down. And that's the standard practice that we want to do to make sure we're avoiding that splatter. But it's cool, you can see the 3 different colors right on this screen, you know, so they do add up. All of them will mix together, and then we'll end up with something nice. We'll add in some inks and stuff too. Still had a little bit of paint in this, but I'm just gonna dump it out. And let's clean this out really nice. There's a lot of paint. I just kind of dump it into my cup. You guys can't see. I'm gonna do a full take apart this time, because we've been basically spraying for almost 2 hours without cleaning this all the way. I'm just gonna continue beyond the 2-hour time frame. Not sure how far we'll get tonight. Usually I like to finish pieces in like one fell swoop. I don't know if that's gonna happen with this one, so I might get all of the base colors down, and then we'll continue with the clear shading on Wednesday. And that will give this paint some time to sit and cure as well, which I get kind of better results if I let my stuff sit and cure. So we'll see. Let me skip this song because it just keeps showing up. There we go. A classic. Hope you all have enjoyed this stream so far, even though I basically only sprayed 3 colors. The hair of all of these pieces is the most complicated. Everything else, like half of these colors I mixed are just for this hair. The only other ones that I have on my bench here are the skin color, which is, you know, one tone I mixed, which will layer, and then the pre-shading for the frills, and then her dress base color. That's like pretty much it. The rest you can mix as we're going. Like that hot red we mixed, I don't need to pre-make hot red because it's just gonna be straight out of the bottle. So this is technically one of the most exciting ones and time-consuming ones. All right. Yes, it does look like Cheetos. Now I want Cheetos. Okay. Give this one last. There we go. Yeah, let me open my window a little bit more. Just get kind of stuff in here. The only concern was that it was pretty humid out, but I also have dehumidifier on, so it should be fine. And also, well, that explains why my fan was not on. I was like, why is it so hot in here? There we go. Okay, that should help out a lot. I was like getting really hot. Too much spraying. And let me compare this color real quick before we do some lightening up. So you can see it's a pretty darn close match here. Again, the colors are pretty saturated on this phone and this camera, but they do match regardless of, you know, where it is. So, oh yeah, let me clean out this top as well. So you, oops, before I drop it, you can see the top is starting to get kind of gross. It's all clear. Yeah, right? It's definitely not pink. I don't know where this app gets some of their colors from. I always laugh because they're saying like light gray, and it's just like this. It's not. It's like white and some blue in it. Yeah. And I would not call this in any capacity pink. Like, this is very orange. Even the desaturated one, there's no pink in this. It's funny. But I do like this app in particular. It's just called Color Picker because you can just literally pull a photo from your phone and it'll just, you can click on it wherever. The other big thing about it is that it has no ads whatsoever, which is awesome. So many of these like free applications for color mixing or color checking or photo manipulation, like you do one photo and then it launches you in a 30-second ad, and I'm like, I don't have time for this. I need to check like 20 colors right now, and you are wasting my life. So I love this app for the no ads. I'm gonna turn this over because it's starting to get like crispy, starting to get that Cheeto texture. So I guess I could change it this way, but I'm just gonna turn it over. Usually what I do is I kind of turn around my paper towel and try to use all pieces of it before throwing it away. Otherwise it feels like such a waste. So we got a clean one here, it's fine. Yep, we love Cheetos, our favorite time. Okay, so I am going to go back in with this one step lighter orange and kind of buff out some of that harsher orange that we laid on. A lot of times what I do is we get this gradient going, but you can kind of like very faintly see the grains of the pigment that's deposited. And so putting that lighter color on top will help get rid of that. And where's my 200? I've been like 2000. I've been throwing stuff around all day. There's a little tiny fuzzy on here. So you may have noticed me also kind of just very lightly rubbing on these pieces as I'm spraying. And that's because I noticed the fuzzy, and that's just kind of what happens when you kit build. And when you're spraying, is like, you know, your vent is sucking air in, and it's gonna suck in some dust particles too. So you want to get those off your kit pretty much as soon as your paint is dry to the touch, because otherwise, like, you're gonna put it on, you're gonna put on more paint. It's gonna be harder and harder to take that fuzzy off. So, all right, back to the grind. opportunities to get really nice color gradients and similar things like that. Some of the other kids that I painted have really nicely sculpted hair, and it makes such a difference when you're able to like really get in there and change that definition. And this one's just kind of like pointy hair strand, so. Alright, so I think I got this base color to a point where I like it, but it's all starting to kind of blur together, which means that I probably need to introduce my other colors. So last thing I'm going to do tonight is put some of this rust color that I mixed on, oh, if it'll zoom in, let's see. Yeah, so I just labeled it rust, but it's like a dark red basically. And I'm going to try starting with the end tips here and see how it's going. I don't think I'm gonna put this as like actual shading, so like in between, you know, her hair strands here. That's what I usually leave clear colors for. But I do want to add a little bit more of a point of interest because again, it's like it right now it's starting to look like it's just one color. You can kind of see, you know, there's these lighter colors in the hair strands, but it's still all just like, I don't know. It's very blah. It's not where I want it to be yet. So let me take a look at my reference real quick. I mean, this girl's hair is also mostly the same color, but she just has so many more hair strands, which give you that nice definition. So I think when we start going in with the clears, especially on this piece, it's really going to be pretty nice looking. But let me try out this rust color. I'm gonna go in. Wondering if I should start using my 0.2. No. I think I'm gonna use my 0.3 and still lightly coat this. Famous last words. So I'm just referring to my airbrushes. I have a couple of them. When I say 0.3 or 0.2, I'm referring to the needle size that's in each of them. So my 0.3 is the one I've been using. It's my Iwata HPC Plus. Workhorse here does most of the bulk of the work, so it lays down all my base colors and everything. And then when I really need to go in with finer details and like the clear shading and stuff, I'm going to be using my Badger Sotar 2020. I don't think we're going to do this tonight though, just because this will be the last one right now. Cleaning. Do I clean out the airbrush completely with cleaner after each color change or just wipe down? Kind of depends, but what I've been doing, at least for tonight, is after like colors that are really dark, I've been cleaning it out fully. So what we did earlier is we blew through 3 different colors. We went through these 3, and so I did not clean out my airbrush until after this color. You can see there's a pretty dark, significantly difference here between this color and these ones. So in that case, it wasn't a big deal, but paint will start to accumulate, and so it's best to start cleaning. If I'm switching between like actual different colors, so if I were going from like this color into my dress color for this kit, like this one, I would completely clean out my airbrush after this one, so these colors don't mix with this one. So if you're like working in the same color range, generally there's a little more leniency I found, but if you're switching from like skin to hair to blah blah blah, just out of good practice, it's a good idea to clean your airbrush fully. I'm gonna turn on my booth now, so you guys probably won't be able to see or to hear me, I guess. But if you have any other questions, you know, keep them coming after I'm done. I'll look at them and I'll answer them. Then test it out first. I'm gonna go for it. I'm really liking the end tips with the color. again, well, camera does not pick it up at all, but you're able, like the eye will be able to tell. Let me see if my camera on my phone will pick it up, and that way you guys can see the difference. I said nothing, Shannon. I'm silly. Let me see real quick. No, this lighting is kind of fussy right now, so, oh wait, let me look at the right one. You can see I'm also holding my kit. I'm able to kind of handle the paint. Kind of unique to lacquer where it's like dried in the touch after, you know, not that long. But you really don't want to be handling these pieces a lot because any oil from your hands are going to get on it and stuff, so. Shannon. Alright, so yeah, I'm going to spray these tips with this rust color, and then we'll see how that goes after that. Paint to this. I added some extra Mr. Color Leveling Thinner. It's too thin now, and I got like a tiny paint splatter droplet on this hair. It's in like a space where you guys probably won't see it. It's like right in here, but it's visible, and so make sure your paint isn't too thin or you'll get that splatter. Also, you tend to play with the needle adjustment. If you're referring to changing from like a 0.2 to a 0.3 needle, generally no, not in the same airbrush. I have different airbrushes that I use for different purposes, and so I do have, they are compatible with different needles, but rather than switch the needle out and the whole situation, I have a 0.2 airbrush, a 0.3 airbrush, a 0.5 airbrush that are all used for different purposes. So just easier to switch out the connector at the bottom than it is to like undo the whole needle and switch everything. So, all right, back to these hair tips. Hey guys, sorry, I just saw your comment. Thank you, Autumn. We are getting there slowly. We're just probably getting to a point where we're gonna wrap up tonight. I'll show it off in just a second, but I noticed that one area the hair is a little lighter than what I want it, so I'm gonna go in again with my main color and just kind of fix that area up. I also oversprayed some of the rust a tiny bit, so I'm gonna try to balance that gradient out. And thanks, Sargosa. I will not be going on, but I will be here on Wednesday. So if you guys have to head out, then on Wednesday the 5th is when we will continue this. Hair is getting to a point where I'm starting to like it, so it's starting to show its true colors, I guess. But I still do all that clear shading, and I'm liking this rust color, so I'm gonna go in with my 0.2 on Wednesday, I think, and kind of deepen those shading areas with that rust color. Yeah, all good, Autumn. Thanks for stopping in. I'm just gonna turn my booth back on and keep on going with this. Probably won't be too much longer though. Yeah. Alright, so think I'm good tonight. Let me finish clearing up some of this mess, so then that way I can safely bring over this piece, show you guys it one more time before we head out for tonight. In summary, what we did was we sprayed 4 colors on this kit. So this figure already kind of has a 4-color variation, although it's really subtle, pretty hard to tell, and that first color is basically not visible at all. We have this creamy, marigoldy, buttery yellow we put on. Let's see. Come on. Every time. Let me just sit here. There we go. So this kind of yellowy butter was our first one that we put on as a base, and then we put on a secondary orange on top of that, more of a soft pumpkin. So that was the next one. Then our main color, which is closest to that figure, or not figure, I guess the image at the top, is this orange. Keep in mind that the colors on my screen are way more saturated, and in this camera are way more saturated than what I'm actually seeing in person. So it's actually much more redder in person, a little softer. And lastly, we put on some rust color, kind of this darker red on the tips of this kit. And I will continue using this color on Wednesday. I did decide I really like this color, and it's bringing out the oranges really nicely. So you get that when you are kind of spraying a darker orange or like a softer orange. Adding that red in there is going to bring it out and make it look a little more vibrant. So these are the 4 colors we've worked with. I've kind of been, putting the piece down, taking it apart. Let me turn this inside out so you guys don't have to deal with an orange blob while I show this. But this is the figure so far. So nice. See you later, Stu. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for catching me, and I hope you can catch me on Wednesday. We'll be doing more painting. So yeah. Anyway, so this is what I have so far. Again, very saturated, kind of really hard to tell. But if you hold it back here, you could really start to see the details. You can see that these lighter areas here, these are the hair strands, and that's areas I sanded down. And so that definition is not, trick of the light or anything. That's all intentional and very visible in person. Same with the top here. You can see that there's this softer gradient. This color is lighter at the top, fading into this darker color here. So that's all stuff you can do with airbrushing. Again, it looks pretty subtle, and it's very orange on my screen. So I'll have to take some photos and maybe post some. In any other case, there, let's see. Yeah, we have these oranger, darker tips, which camera is definitely not picking up. It's a little bit darker along this hair here, this far part, but again, camera hard to pick it up. So next time, we will continue shading this hair. We'll definitely pretty much be done with the hair on Wednesday, because I, again, don't want to drag pieces out too long. I like to paint all one piece at all one time. And so we will be using the 0.2 millimeter nozzle / needle airbrush on this. This is my Badger Sotar 2020, and it is used for my detail work. So what I was really finding was that my Wada, although fantastic and an all-purpose workforce, really was struggling with some of these smaller kits. And I like to purchase a lot smaller kits, like this whole thing fits in my hand here. So this is pretty small, and I have decently small hands. You can see my glove is too oversized. But yeah, so I was finding that the 0.3 needle was spraying too wide for what I needed. And so really, I couldn't get in between these really small cracks here and fill this area in. My 0.2 needle does that. And so I will be using a combination of probably that rust color and the base color, as well as some clear colors. I think we had our paint recipes we did a while back, and I don't remember what I used, but I'll have to reference that. Some magentas or something in there. So we're really, this whole session was getting the color to a point where, it's already starting to look pretty acceptable, and you can see, this nice definition here. But we're really going to bring that out next time, and we're really going to focus on those hair strands, getting the tips a little darker, adding some pinks in there, maybe some purple, making sure we can see all of these details in between here, as well as the other side. Not quite as detailed, but you can see there's still a lot of work that needs to happen here to bring out that detail. Because in the end, we do want this figure to look like the reference image. Let me make that big again. You can see there's kind of a lot going on in her hair strands there. And so they're kind of darker, they trend darker. The shadows are really clearly defined. And a lot of that can be done with a combo of dark colors as well as clear colors. So you can see that hair palette, we went through basically those top 2 rows. Next time it's going to be that last darker red color as well as the purples. And then I am assuming like that won't take that long. It's definitely not going to take the whole stream because this was the most complex part of this whole figure. So next time we're going to paint the skin. So we will be using the clear skin method. This is a paint method that I use for pretty much all my kits. I have a pre-made mixture that I'm using from another kit that I already painted, and so I mixed way too much skin tone on this for this kit. And so I have a bunch left over. So I always save my skin tones. This stuff is like liquid gold because it's pretty difficult to find now. So I will just, like, I honestly don't even really remember the mixture. I have a reference book, so I'd have to check that. But yeah, so we'll be using that. And then, you know, I'm pretty sure we'll be able to start moving into like painting the outfit with the whites and some blacks. There's not too much more after that. So really, we want to get that skin tone down early because we're going to have to mask and do some stuff. So this is the area. She's got these little hands attached to her apron. And we will have to paint these first before we paint any of the white, because then we're going to go and mask off this tiny little hands and then paint the rest of this apron. So I think out of all of the pieces, this apron was the most complex because it has the skin color, it has the white, and then there is also black on it. So I could hand paint that black. Not sure if I will do that. I might, but it'll depend if masking is more of a pain, which it might be for this piece. It's pretty small. Anyway, that's pretty much my wrap up for today. So thank you guys for tuning in to watch my first live painting session. It really means a lot that I have your support. I was pretty nervous about doing this live because a lot of what I do is trial and error, and sometimes bad things happen. Like you just spill paint all over a piece, or I've had a piece done and I straight up dropped it like in my lacquer thinner, and there goes that piece. And so this was a very successful first session. I'm really happy with the color of this kit so far, and I really like this hair color a lot. So I'm excited to keep going. Anyway, talk to you guys later. I will see you hopefully on Wednesday, May 5th. So Wednesday, May 5th at 8 p.m. EST. Much love to you too, Ken. This was a fun time. So stay safe, you guys. Stay cool. It's starting to get warm. And hope to see you on Wednesday. Bye-bye.